The lines between internal and external thought and reality will begin to blur as we go further into the concept of four-dimensional thinking today. So let's start. Let's pretend for a second that this present instant is where everything actually is. This is the heart of 4D thinking, a paradigm that frees us from the box of 2D thinking and 1D vision. The concept that our thoughts and the world around us are shaped by the talks we have with ourselves in our quiet moments of reflection. What we think about, what we talk about in the depths of our mind weaves the framework of our encounters, both with others and with the environment around us. What we envision becomes real, like images on a movie screen, from these internal dialogues and contemplations. But what is it that we truly wish to bring into being and into existence? Creating something from nothing is not what we mean when we talk about creation. Instead, we're talking about making apparent what has always been there but has been hidden from view, because all things in their essence already exist, awaiting the moment of manifestation. You might think of it as a quest to uncover this hidden truth. The conversations we have with ourselves, together with our thoughts and visions, act as a kind of internal compass. In contrast to the constant cerebral commotion, our inner voice conveys a message of peace and plenty. It reminds us that in the domain of the fourth dimension, all things are possible. Four-dimensional thinking is a knowledge imparted many times by Neville Goddard, who urged us to be imitators of God. Thinking about how God makes the unseen tangible in our own lives, for we too may bring the invisible into the world of the apparent. We need to tap into our creative potential before we can successfully verbalize our internal monologues. Those deep talks with ourselves serve as the birthplace of creativity. They are the germinal site of all that we dream about and bring into being. To this end, the practice of 4D thinking teaches us to mimic God by bringing the intangible into the apparent. Faith, as Neville so eloquently phrased it, is devotion to what cannot be seen. Belief in the reality of all things, even if they have not manifested in our material universe. That's why I repeat over and over again in our films that we are the architects of our world. We may sculpt it with our ideas and mold it with our inner talks. The mental imagery we create is more than simply a fleeting notion. It's a procedure that's taking place right before our eyes. Many individuals, myself included, have seen things happen before they happened, at least in this realm of 3 dimensions, as Neville once stated. Life on Earth must go according to plan, since man can see an event in space before it happens. This scheme also comes from another dimension and is currently making its way through our own. As robust as they are, our senses tend to obscure our awareness of the unseen beauty all around us. In order to perceive the intangible, we need to remove our reliance on sense data. We need to give the intangible the same weight as the tangible by giving our whole attention to observing and feeling it. Throughout our lives, we have been conditioned to assume that our 5 sensory experiences determine reality. However, there comes a time in our spiritual growth when we begin to think independently, thinking beyond the box, as the saying goes. And at the same instant, we question ourselves: what do we actually want? How do we envision our lives? Answers to such weighty inquiries help us zero in on the motivations that set us on our individual courses. When we tune in to our instincts, our inner voice directs us. It paves the way for multiple perspectives on sensory data interpretation. By engaging in this method, we achieve achievement and create change in ways that are distinctive to ourselves. Some may even consider us geniuses or inventive minds. By manifesting our heart's wishes, we get insights on how to overcome the limits of 3-dimensional thinking, which frequently locks us in the past and future. As a result, our mentality changes when we declare an action complete. The world around us may seem the same, but our perspectives have shifted, and a new reality has opened up before us. We may close the gap between our wants and the sensory input by coordinating our inner conversation with our eyesight. and thus we no longer feel oppressed or injured by external situations, ideas, or settings. Effortlessly directed by our intuition, we choose from among available opportunities in order to have meaningful encounters with people and places that support our spiritual development. Intuition, inner conversation, and heartfelt desires all merge in this way to form a life that goes beyond words. In the exciting path of manifesting our goals, certain situations and facts have vital roles to play. Let's go into this idea, though, and see if we can't unearth some life-altering insights. Let's say, for argument's sake, that you've chosen to switch careers. Just give it some thought. What if you could feel the spirit of this new job as if it were already true? To feel this essence, we must enter into the image of something sought with all our senses aroused, immersing ourselves in this imagined universe. Now is the time for us to put our beliefs in action, and this is where the sea change occurs. This is where manifestation and multidimensional thinking meet at a critical juncture. Even if the superficial world looks unaltered, we begin to sense subtle shifts. Feelings and inspirations begin to form, and individuals join our lives unexpectedly. Through these associations, we are led to possibilities that lie off the beaten track. This unorthodox approach to growth is consistent with what we term four-dimensional thinking. The central idea of four-dimensional thinking is that everything exists right now, and that we are a part of this reality. To master the ability of perceiving the unseen, it is vital to free your mind from the restrictions of the five senses. So give all of your attention to an intangible condition and experience it to the point where it seems as real as the reality around you. Here, creative thinking is in the spotlight. Another useful technique is to relax to the point of sleep and then stare at a single image that sums up your goals. Or you can even compose affirmations, claiming that it has been done. All these techniques move us to a new state of mind, and it's in this frame of mind that we have the sense that it's already done. So visualize each idea as a narrow shaft of light. When you put your full attention and focus on something, everything else seems to slip into the background. Therefore, the secret to making things happen is to focus. Paying attention to our internal monologues is a vital element of focusing. So, always keep your positive self-talk in line with your end goal. Changes in the external environment are a natural consequence of focusing inside. The inner and outer worlds dance together in perfect harmony. Understanding that the ability to achieve your goals is within you is a powerful motivator throughout this process. Your inner world is the spark for transformation, altering the external environment to mirror your assumptions and ideas. With each passing day, you grow more able to shift your internal talks and see the wonderful metamorphosis in your outward world. Keep in mind that ultimately it is up to you to determine the course of your life. This method allows us to see beyond the physical world and into the realm of the spirit, where the ancient scriptures promise us we will find unfathomable truths. They are without defense because ever since the world was created, God's everlasting power and Godhead have been clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. Romans 1:20. To grasp our eyesight, we must realize that it acts independently of our natural abilities. If we want to make sense of life's riddles, we can't only rely on our five physical senses. It may appear counterintuitive to what we have been trained about, how the world of the five senses works, yet it bears the key to what we term four-dimensional thinking, the concept that all things are here and now. This is due to the fact that these occurrences can be witnessed well in advance of their materialization. The key to developing four-dimensional thought is in paying close attention to one's inner monologue, the thoughts and feelings one has about one's own life and its potential future. I'm not arguing that you should become locked in a future that hasn't arrived yet. This information is meant solely to aid you in your quest to bring about the changes you desire in your life. Consider times when the world seems to send us rejection signals, such when someone questions your or my goals and declares that you or I are doomed to fail. I realize it may sound a little uncomfortable to hear this, but it all happens deep within you. Before this external occurrence took place, there was an inside discourse, possibly something along the lines of, "I'm not confident in my own abilities" came up. Can I truly achieve this? This inner doubt. What you feed with your thoughts becomes real in the world. Disappointing remarks to you, the absence of confirmation in the five senses, may be a reflection of your own doubts or presumptions. Changing these preconceived notions has the potential to alter your current situation. The mind is the source of all movement and alteration. These shifts don't play out in the external world the way they appear to. The first signs of these changes are internal shifts. It's like seeing a drama play out in real life. Imagine the theater of your outside world as a reflection, a mirror displaying the changes within behaviors, surroundings, circumstances. The things we learn serve as a blank slate onto which we may paint the changes we experience in ourselves. It is via this unfolding that the inner world expresses itself in the outside world. Now, I truly pray that this idea will be the catalyst for the change you want. In terms of getting what you want or developing your spirituality, try not to consider oneself as a simple product of your five senses, since this might result in a condition of floating in a world that we feel we cannot influence. Recognizing that our internal dialogues are more than just a mirror of our experiences is the first step toward mental cleanliness and adjustment. They literally built the world we live in. This may first appear like a difficulty, as we presuppose that they are the cause of our reality, but with persistence we may alter our outlook over time. So remember, this all transformation is born in consciousness. Even the future, painstakingly planned in preparation, provides many pathways at every stage of our life. However, it is the discussions we have with ourselves, the knowledge and experiences we process, and the circumstances we encounter that lead us to the future we envision for ourselves. There are various methods to get what you desire via force, through flow, or a mix of both. It's up to you to decide. If you grasp that all changes occur in awareness, your inner dialogue will shift to proactivity. When you assert that all power and everything existing now, you enter a realm of endless possibilities, changing your reality with intention and grace.